type your question or your comment on the chat box for the sake of better communication. I'll just with a bit of feedback on assignment 1. And I'm hoping that this will give you an idea of what you guys were expected to do this. But again, thanks for making time for class. And I'm hoping that this will be helpful for you as you prepare for your examinations, because they've already kick-started. So let's share. Can you see? Can you see this? We need to communicate, guys. Otherwise, I'll assume that I'm talking to myself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, I can't see my screen. It's blank.
Is it blank even now?
Yes.
Let me do this. Okay. Can you see?
Yes, I can see now.
Oh, okay. So, like I said, assignment 1, I managed to mark it and send it back to you in assignment 2. The difficulty about the second semester, and you would have seen with me, maybe many other lectures giving you guys extensions, is that there was a time the system would have collapsed because of the applications or admissions. That had an impact on our work and on how quick you guys were to submit your assessments. So I was very lenient with that, because assuming that, well, obviously you can't be blamed for how slow the system was, how in some cases you couldn't submit. So I've given you extension on that one. But yeah, going forward, like I said, this is feedback for assignment 1 and 2. And we hope that, Dr. Slikan, that this will assist you to go ahead as you prep for your exam. So one of the questions on assignment 1, which is executive activity 1, you were asked to explain in your own words what media are. And you were meant to listen to or watch a video which detailed that. But then we said, as you may have seen from the video, media are devices that facilitate communication with a particular audience, including television, radio, newspapers, mobile devices, and the internet. And we also expected to list the media that you see in the video, and in your own way describe how people use the media. That would have been television or smartphone, and then obviously based on how you explained that, would have given you marks. And then there was an issue about a video that mentions the uses and gratification theory. So you were meant to go to the discussion forum and explain this in not more than 2 paragraphs. But because the discussion forum is collapsed, most of you could actually respond on your scripts. And there was one that would ask you to give an extensive discussion on why why the internet is not considered a mass media in Africa. So also what I've seen with you guys, because some would have complained about how they think their marks don't align with the work that they've put. And my argument has always been that, students are meant to, in their discussion of all these times, they are meant to be detailed in as far as reading material, but not only reading material. You must be able to reference the reading material, because you can't give me what I've given you on the notes. I mean, I already know what's on the learning unit, so you can't give me that as answers. If you give me that as answers, yes, you will pass, but you'll pass minimally, because you didn't have expressed better, because what I want to understand is just how much you understand these terms and putting them into context, like in a real life kind of a situation. An activity two would have said use the internet and sources such as the books on recommended list to provide a detailed discussion on each of the 7 elements criteria for newsworthiness. One of them will be timelessness, timeliness, proximity, rarity, prominence, impact, novelty, human interest, and all. And you are also meant to list any 3 newspapers that are distributed in your area when you live, and you have to detail how those publications apply any of the 7 elements of newsworthiness. Yeah. And I would have asked you to, do you read newspapers on a daily basis? If yes, state from where you get information about current affairs. If the answer is yes, provide the name of your newspapers and state this and the sections that you enjoy reading. And on 3, you asked to explain what breaking news is and give a detailed example of a breaking news story. Explain what soft news is and give relevant examples. And then you were also asked to list any four top, I mean, any top 4 social media sites and how many times you access these sites and things like that. So yeah, that's that for for assignment 1. I want to get to understand from you, how did you guys experience assignment 1 and 2 in your own rights? How was it? Was it difficult? Was it something that you enjoyed working on? Let's talk. Anyone can just raise their hand and tell me. Please, Ngube.
Hey everyone. For me, I think it was, I enjoyed it. It's just that I was a little bit scared because, at first I didn't know if I'm doing the right thing or not. And I was watching the videos, but it was just the thing, like there's something that I'm not adding that I'm supposed to add. But I guess it's because it was the first assignment. And but yeah, I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was very fun when you actually look at it.
Yeah. And the good thing about it is that uh, yes, like you said, it's anxiety, but it's that thing of saying if you crack it, then anxiety falls off and you can approach any other coming um, um, assessment, because and that's what I've been arguing, that the fact that I would give any extensions because of the fact that you guys are doing your first years, and if you fail to pass assignment 1, you're likely to give up and drop off. Do you get me? But like I said, when you study and when you study in time and read your notes, there's no way you won't pass. I got a lot of emails from you guys about the location of the assessment, and I said to you, if you have read the notes, you'd know that the assessments are buried inside the notes. So you just need to read and write. Like yours is just to read. Yours is just to read and respond to the questions. Yeah. And then there was a case. Do you have another hand? Okay, we seem to be fine. Let me see. Oh, there's no other hand. And then there was assignment 2, which actually came quite um earlier than assignment 1 in marking. I'm sorry for that, guys. That there was a delay in that. Uh, yeah. But then, like I'm saying, you guys were meant to just read your notes, and the assessments are buried there on the notes. So activity 1 on assignment 2, you were expected to provide the differences and similarities in the 2 codes of ethics, which was SANEF, Press Code, and the PRISA Code of Ethics on Professional Standards. And I'd argued that, and I think we had a class on this one, I'd argued that the two are different in the sense that SANEF regulates issues around journalism, while the PRISA Code of Ethics on Professional Standards regulates on public relations professionals, which you do. And obviously, the need for that is that, obviously, you have these two in comparison. The need for that is that as public relations professionals, you guys will be working a lot with journalists who would assist you guys to push the work that you'll be trying to popular, things like that. And then the other one, you are expected to explain the concept of ethics in your own words. And by in your own words, we mean that you are meant to read and understand, then apply that in your own writing. You source material, you reference, you show me where you got this, you got that, and things like that. And you're also meant to report on the importance of ethical behavior in the public relations profession. You're meant to identify and discuss the differences between institutional and professional codes of conduct and give examples of each. So obviously, institutional are pay an organization, and the professional governs the whole profession of PR. For instance, PRISA would have theirs. So PRISA's code of conduct, it's the professional. And if you work for a PR company, that will be institutional. So it's based on your institution. And then, yeah, so that's that. And then, yeah, this was the shortest one. And also there was a section on media liaison, where you were asked to explain what a human interest story is and give examples. Write down what should be included in a media kit for a news conference. Elaborate on how websites are used as point of contact with journalists. I was very impressed specifically on this one. Yeah, and then you also asked to assess the value of the factors that should be considered when using emails to communicate with the media. Your discussion should focus on audience, content, mood, and language. Yeah, so that's that. So I'd want us to move to the summative. Were you guys able to locate the summative assessment? I'll ask that you open your mics and respond.
Your screen is now stuck on activity 5.
Sorry?
Your screen is on activity 5.
My screen is what?
You're on activity 5. I'm not sure if you've moved from that slide.
No, I've okay. I'll tell you now. Are you able to see task 1, summative assessment?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did. I managed to access task 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen though? Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, we can see, but I don't know if it's me. It's still on activity 5.
On my side, I only see your picture, say. It doesn't show a screen.
Okay. Let me do this. Yes, you can see now, right?
Yes,
Yes, we can.
What do you see? Summative assessment, right?
yes.
It's on learning unit 4. So this is your
Yeah.
this is your examination. The formative assessment assignments contributes 60% of the final mark, and the summative, which the portfolio, contributes 40. So it means you guys are working towards you're working for 40% to make it up to 50 or beyond and pass. Your 2 assignments would have made it up to 60%. So one of the things that you task 1 says click on the hyperlink below and watch the video that explains newsworthiness. So after that, you'll be asked to identify and discuss the 7 pillars of newsworthiness and to provide current news stories for every pillar that you identify. So you need to find the current story and use that as a case study to relate the seven pillars of newsworthiness. Do you guys understand that?
No, I don't on my side.
Okay. So because in the past you would have been asked to explain what newsworthiness is. So now you understand what newsworthiness is, right? Not so. No, guys, you need to open your mics. You need to open your mics. Please, you need to open your mics. Otherwise, I can't talk to myself. I need to understand if you guys are understanding what I'm telling you. So I know where to emphasize and when not to emphasize. Ngobe, you said you don't understand, right?
Yes, I don't understand.
So when I
But-
asked, yeah, when I'm talking, then you need to open your mic so you can engage me.
Okay.
So I can get if
I
to
was
understand if
letting
you are
others
following.
speak.
Sorry?
I was letting others speak.
No, it's fine. If they're not speaking, it's fine. Means that maybe they understand. If you raise your hand, then it means I must focus on your case. If they don't, I can't go beyond that. So because you would have explained issues around newsworthiness in your assignment,
Yes.
you know, the 7. So now
Yes.
when you when you find the stories that I'm talking about, current news stories, you need to show me and identify such a pillar in each and every story. So you identify and discuss the 7 pillars of newsworthiness, and you provide current news stories for every pillar that you identify. Does it make sense?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it does make sense.
And then discuss 3 characteristics of each of the following mass media. There's television, there's radio. Yeah. So I'll give you an example with TV. TV, one of the characteristics that it's a picture medium. And radio, they say it's a theater of the mind, which means with radio you don't see, but there's sound, you know. With TV you can see pictures. So it's one of the characteristics of that. And that's for 30 marks. So one of the things that you guys should do is that be mindful of the marks when you're answering. If something is for 5 marks and there's one for 2 marks, it means you can't give me 3 paragraphs for the one on 2 marks and give me 1 paragraph for the one on 5 marks. So check the grading of marks so that you don't under respond, you don't over respond. Makes sense, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So another issue is that you have to choose real world events and provide the 3 examples of breaking news. So find an event that would have happened and then give me, like real breaking news. It means you would have to read news, you'll have to watch news, listen to news on radio, and give me the most immediate and the most latest breaking news stories. One of the issues could be that, for instance, now in Palestine and Israel are fighting. If there's a story about a bombing of a crash, that's a breaking news. It just happened now. So you need to give me that. Provide the key functions of the following professions: public relations and journalism. Just to give you an idea, one of the functions of journalists is to tell stories. It's to inform people, it's to educate. One of those, those are some of the functions of journalists. So you need to write that and give me referencing. If you read this from somewhere, give me what you found the work. That's part of academic writing. And I say, in your own words, explain why the media is important to public relations. Explain the importance of journalistic skills for a public relations practitioner. As a PR practitioner, you need to be able to write. That's journalistic skill, but you need that to write so that you can sell your story easily. So that's what I'm saying. Explain the importance of journalistic skill. That's what I mean. In your own words, explain why the media is important to public relations. One of the importance of media public relations is that if you're a PR professional, your work can never be out there unless if you have access to the media, Much as you can create well-written press statements, if you have no medium, which is a newspaper or radio or TV, it means your work can never be published. So that's one of the importance of the media, the fact that it gives public relations practitioners or the profession itself a window into accessing the real world. And I say discuss in an essay of 800 words how and why ethical considerations should be part of your everyday conduct as public relations practitioners, professionals. So I read on that, make reference. That's an essay of 40 marks. You need to read on that. It has three. It's quite easy. Access Facebook and search for any organization of your choice. Choose to like their page. So this is what I call free marks. Write down the number of times that the organization posts new information on a monthly basis. I mean, that's a marks for nothing. What kind of information is posted by the organizations? 2 marks for nothing. I'll pass this one. Yeah. I'll just dwell on this last three. Why do you think it is important for an organization to respond to questions and comments from people on Facebook? Explain why different things are important for journalists from different media, with specific reference to radio, television, and daily newspaper journalists. So radio needs sound. It means that if you have no sound in radio, you have no story. In television, you need visuals. If you have no visuals, it means you have no story. In a newspaper, you need text and a picture. In the absence of that, you have no story. So I want you to detail how different the three are and how they see themselves playing out in society. Find a major news incident of an ongoing issue and compare the coverage of the incident by the different media over a period of time. You'll get one story and you will tell me how the SABC covered the story, how ENCA covered the story, how Newsroom Africa covered the story, or how Media 24, News 24, how Power FM, how Jacaranda, how EWN covered the story. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's that. Like I said, also, just be mindful of how much marks are allocated to what. That will assist you guys to be able to respond adequately and correctly. There we go. Okay. Who has a question? Who wants to raise a question?
Me, I wanted to ask regarding the essay where you have to write 800 words. I
Yeah.
just want to find out that is it about 800 words? Like, for an example, it can be 805 or 799. Or
Yeah.
will I be penalized?
You want to penalize, even if it's 750, 600, like what I want to see is just arguments, referencing,
Okay.
how you play around with the words. Like I'm saying, of all things, I want to see academic writing because you guys are academics now. I want to see how you argue your cases, you know, things like that. How you reference, how you fuse different sources with your own ideas, because that's very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So that's that, guys. Like I said, just write and reference. It's important that you do that. Because like I said, you guys are in varsity. You need to be able to argue your cases, support them, using published material. And one thing, this is an arena for you to raise questions and ask me. There's about 600 of you, so I won't be able to respond to each and every email. It's almost impossible. I type, but it's almost impossible because there are other cases that I've got other modules that I'm teaching. So it's not just you. Hence, I always say, when you send me emails, just say which module or which module code. Do you get me?
Yes.
Yeah. So you guys just let's talk. What do you want clarity on?
What if just like that? I forgot what units you were sharing, but that's like our exam that we're gonna have to do, right?
What I say?
I'm asking the units that you were sharing now, because all of the other assignments you had to go and study all of the learning units, and then the assessments were there. As you read, you get an assessment and then you continue. You've just shared another learning unit. Is that part of the exam?
The 4 that I shared with you.
Yes.
That's where the exam is on learning unit 4.
Okay.
So this time there are no notes, because what you are having on this exam is what you'd have had on your assignment 1 and 2.
Okay.
Do you get me?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Let's ask questions, guys. Okay. One other thing, the declarations should be there. Table of content. This is an exam. The work must be very clean. Yeah. And then I'll be honest with you, I'll be less lenient because this is an exam. I won't give you I won't give you postponement. You have about 10, 12 days to write this. And trust me, if you don't submit the work in time, I won't reopen the site for you. You don't need to wait for the 1st of November to submit. You don't need to wait for the 30th of October or the 1st of October to submit. You don't need 3 days to write this work. You need a day. You don't need 2 hours. You don't need 10 hours. Because in a case where you were meant to write a venue-based exam, you would write all these things in 3 hours. If you were to write this as an online exam, you will write this in 3 hours. So there's no need that you need 3 weeks to write. And like I'm saying, I won't reopen the portal. I have no powers to do that. So if you fail to submit your work in time, just know it's a fail. And I advise you, please write your work if you can today, start today. Write one write one quick question today, write one tomorrow, write one the following day and submit. You don't need to wait for the 30th. And tell your friends in your groups that if I get an email on the 30th and one say I can't see the exam, I won't respond. If I get an email on the 30th, 31st, one saying, please open the portal for me, crash, I won't respond. Because you have a chance now. You just write and submit. Easy as that. Can come through, Buthelezi.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, man. You can go. You
Yes.
can. Yeah.
First of all, I need to apologize with the background noise. I
That's
was
fine.
not going.
Yeah.
I was not going to speak, but now I can feel that. No, I need to speak. So to me, it's like a bit of a concern, but yeah, maybe it will help you in that when you deal with other students. First of all, like me, a person like me, I've sent many emails and reminders directly to your emails. So some of us, we were enrolled in these programs. We are also doing other modules from other departments, of which sometimes they clash with your exams. I'm not only pinpointing you only or singing you out only, but sometimes we need a bit of a fairness because, like for example, today I had another exam which I had to submit, and tomorrow on next week on the 27th I have another exam that I have to make, and on the first I have also your exam, and on top of that I have work which is also demanding. I'm not saying that I'm holding you responsible for all these things, but we need to be sort of like, I don't know how you lecturers can organize properly for, especially when it comes to portfolio exams, because now I have to put a lot of effort for this to happen, and which means I have to take a day off actually. So sometimes I also requested you to finish me with a letter so that I can apply for my study leave. I do have study leave days at stake, but I can't apply for study leave using something what they said is not legit enough, but it must contain a module and a statement, your confirmation from confirmation from you as a lecturer of the certain module or particular module. So I would like to raise that with you. I'm not complaining, but I'm just making you aware that some of the students that we are dealing with, they have many challenges, of which becomes complex for us to focus our workload. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm going to take the other question and then I will respond to both. Yeah, there's a and please go through.
Hi, I wanted to ask about how stringent are you in terms of in-text referencing? For example, when you asked about the 7 pillars, the first question, do you expect us to cite for every, like if I'm explaining timeliness, proximity, prominence, do you want me to cite each and every one, or can I just use one reference for the whole, for the entire paragraph for all 7 pillars?
Okay, you can use one reference, but it's much wiser to have a variety. And even responding to one element of that, you can actually use 2 authors if you feel that their description of the same concept is different, because authors conceptualize terms differently based on their geographical location, based on how they understand these concepts. Does it answer?
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Buteles, I get your concern. I think my point was that writing an exam, writing a module, and I think maybe it's because of the fact that it's a portfolio which you have a month to write. And all I'm saying is that you don't need a month to write something that you can write in 3 hours. And I'm saying no one is sitting and guarding you and say, you're not copying, you're not doing this and that. You write this from the comfort of your own home. Should you write this as a venue-based exam, you'd be expected to write in 3 hours with someone standing behind you, checking on what you are doing with no reference to any reading material. And I'm saying, by virtue of you writing from home, you have all reading materials around you. You don't need a month or 2 to write such an exam. But I get your point that you are working. But all I'm saying is that even in such a case where you have work, if you come back from work, I said a mix, ne? Lihle, I said a mix. I meant a mix. Please have a mix if need be, a mix of the different mediums. I hope this clears your question. So all I'm saying is that yes, much as you say you like myself, I have 3 modules that I'm teaching, you know. So I can't. That's why whenever I come back to you with delayed work, I don't say I was busy with this module and that module. My reason can only be the fact that the system had collapsed. That's why I couldn't mark your work and send them back to you in time. But I can't argue and say, I'm marking your work. And by the way, there's about 600 of you in this module. Imagine me having to deal with emails from all of you and other emails about 1,000 from a second module. Dealing with that, then comes the marking. And the marking comes with me ensuring that I'm not robbing you of your marks. I have to make sure that you get your marks in time and the marks are correct. The marking is correct. So these are the dynamics that has to go with all these issues. But like I'm saying, I understand what you're saying. Drop me an email if you need a letter, but that's beyond what we do. We don't write letters and convince employers to give you leaves. Do you get me? Because like I'm saying, in a case where you have to write a portfolio, if it was a venue-based exam, which would be written on the 9th, I'll write a letter and say you need to be writing the exam on the 9th in the community hall or in a UNISA region somewhere in Gauteng or in KZN. But in the case of portfolios, I'm sorry guys, I think yeah. I think I've, can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
we
me?
can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah, is anyone speaking? No, the thing is I'd been kicked out. I think it's just network. So like I was saying, there are students who will come to me and say, give me 3 days for exam. And I'm saying, if you were to write a venue-based exam, you'd write on one particular day. Why must I give you 3 days? You don't need to, I mean, you don't need to study really hard to write a portfolio because these are things that you have written in your assignments. These are things that you've written on your assignment 1 and 2. You just have to revise and write. And in many cases, people complain about how difficult the work is even before they get to check the workload. So my advice is that just go through the work, attempt responding before you say you need a week or 2 to write. Then you'll see that this thing doesn't even take you 10 hours to write. It takes you 3 hours. It takes you a day. It takes you a few hours. It takes you a weekend to write. Do you get me? So, and one thing, guys, deadlines are not to make your life difficult. They're just to test you, how quick you are able to respond to issues, how quick you are able to deal with deadlines, and how quick you can do turnarounds. Because in the workplace, most of you work in the workplace, it's just about how quick you can deliver on what you've been asked to deliver on. Do you get me? Okay. Unless if there's another question, let's tell me if guys would want clarity on anything. Because we're at the end of our class. Tell me if you still want to ask something. I'd assume that we have say on task 1. Do we copy and paste the current news? No, but why would you copy and paste stories, guys? Song.
So,
Yeah.
good afternoon. The question says, identify and discuss the 7 pillars of newsworthiness. Provide current news stories for every pillar that you identify. So, do we write the stories that we are providing, or do we copy the stories that we get somewhere and paste it on the answer sheet. I'm sorry if you've went through this, but might have missed it. I just want clarity on that part. Thanks.
Provide current news stories for every pillar that you identify. But that's not copy and paste. Like you need to provide, need to read and tell me the story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you copy and paste, you're going to fail. And I'm not talking to you, Mhlong. I'm just saying if you
Yes,
copy
sir.
and paste, you're going to. I've seen work that have been copied and pasted. I can see with the format that this thing have been copied from. It's got shadows in the background when you convert the page to a PDF. Can I ask that you don't do that? I'm not, like I'm saying, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to everyone.
Yes,
Can
sir.
I ask that we do justice to our work? Otherwise, I'll give you a 0, and you will fail.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sis. Are we good, guys? Okay, we seem to be fine. Amanda?
When we look for the page on Facebook, when it comes to referencing that on sources consulted, is there an author, or do we just put the organization's name and
No,
link as well as the date we access the information?
You put the organizations on the reference.
So just the
You get-
organization's name, link, as well as the date accessed, or do we just put the name and link to the direct?
just put the profile of the Facebook account. I won't be
Okay.
fussy about that, yeah. But thanks a lot for that one. I just want proof that, and the proof will be you giving me that that account name on the reference and on the body of the writing. And like I said, spread the news to your friends. I won't be extending anything was exams and exam, unfortunately. If you can start writing today and submit tomorrow. If you can start writing tomorrow, submit on Friday. If you can start writing on Friday, submit on Saturday. But just write and submit. Okay. Thanks, guys. All the best. Bye.
Bye.